Start your engines. For 2 weekends a year, the peace and serenity of the picturesque Blue Ridge Mountains of East Tennessee is pierced by the thunderous roar of race engines. Tonight, the Busch National Stars are set to battle on the high banks in a place they appropriately call Thunder Valley. ESPN, the world leader in motorsports coverage, presents Speed World. A record crowd of over 50,000 fans are on their feet here in anticipation of what has historically been a veritable slugfest among America's finest stock car drivers. We welcome you to Bristol International Raceway, site of tonight's NASCAR Busch Grand National Series J. Johnson 250. Hello, everyone. I'm Jerry Punch, along with two-time NASCAR champion Ned Jarrett. And Ned, if you were to use one word to summarize a driver's goal when they come to Bristol Raceway, that word would be?
Survival. Not only is it tough on the race cars, but also they run so fast around this racetrack. If someone gets some trouble in front of them, they don't have time to react, so they got to dodge a lot of spins.
And historically, the more experienced Winston Cup drivers have had an advantage here in the past, but not so tonight.
No, not really, because Bobby Labonte won his first ever Busch Grand National race here back in the spring. He'll be tough again tonight, and he needs to be because of the point standings. He's 92 points behind Kenny Wallace going into this race, and Jimmy Hensley is not too far behind both of them.
Indeed he is. And let's take a look at our Sears Die-Hard starting grid, Ned, as the field now rolling off and rumbling down the backstretch. The front row picking up his 5th pole of the year, defending series champion Chuck Bound. And alongside him, the 1990 USAC Midget champion, a rookie here, though, Jeff Gordon. Back to row 2. Kenny Wallace, there's our point leader, alongside the veteran Butch Miller, the Winston Cup campaigner. Back to row 3. Dale Earnhardt, a 4-time Winston Cup champion, and a rookie here in Busch Racing, a leading rookie, David Green. Back to row 4. Dick Trickle, 49 years of age. He'll be tough tonight. And the man who won here back in April, Bobby Labonte. Row 5. Hurry and Harry Gant, always tough on the short tracks. And Michael Walter, remember that horrible crash here a year ago. Back to row 6. Dale Jarrett, yes, the man who won at Michigan a week ago. And Steve Grissom, a 3-time winner last year. And then, of course, back in the field, there are some Winston Cup starters starting way back in the field, some of the Winston Cup regulars.
Yes, there are, Jerry, as the cars make their way down the back pit stretch there where they try to gauge the speed they're coming down. There's Morgan Shepherd, you see, back in the 9th row. Ernie Irvin back in the 10th row. We'll see those drivers try to come up through the pack, but it's not easy on this racetrack.
And the speed limit down pit road here is 30 miles per hour. You're taking a look at the remainder of our starting field. 32 cars scheduled to start tonight, this 250-lap event. Tom Peck, one of the veterans, back in the field. And those that missed the field, there's some pretty good talent there. Kenny Trader did not qualify for this 250-lapper as they bring the cars down the front pit road at 30 miles per hour. And we understand there have been some changes in the starting lineup. Let's check in with our pit reporter, Benny Parsons. Benny?
Jerry Punch, Kenny Wallace, Busch Grand National point leader, missed the driver's meeting in NASCAR racing. That's compulsory. He said he was starting 3rd. Wrong. He has to go to the very back end of the field and start 32nd. We know that Bobby Labonte and Jimmy Hensley, 2nd and 3rd in the points, they're sitting there just wringing their hands, licking their chops because they think they're going to gain some points tonight.
Well, indeed they are, Benny, and Ned, I think he might have had a reason.
Boy, I tell you, today's his 28th birthday. It's a shame to get that for a birthday present, have to start in the back of this pack.
He will start shotgun on the field. Now, we're at Bristol International Raceway, a pretty tough racetrack. 0.533-mile oval, speed from the pole, 116.737, not a record. 250-lap race, field separation, a little over 0.6 of a second. Symmetrical front and backstretch pitch. You see them highlighted there in red. And some trouble spots off of turn 2 there where the crossover gate is. You see highlighted there in red, and also out of turn 4 as they make the turn to the front straight. The banking here, 36 degrees, 3 stories tall. Symmetrical turns 1, 2, 3, and 4. Likewise, 36 degrees. Front stretch and back stretch are both 16 degrees. And, of course, you always fly here at Bristol International Raceway. Getting set for the green flag. A field of 32 strong, and once again, a record crowd of over 50,000 fans have jammed their way in here to Thunder Valley to watch sensational NASCAR Busch Grand National Series racing. Glad to have you with us. Benny Parsons down trackside, Ned Jarrett, and you're truly Jerry Punch up top to bring you exciting racing here under the lights at Bristol, Tennessee.
About ready for the start, Jerry, to come off turn 4. The pace car is gone and the green flag waves.
Carl Simmons waving the green, and Chuck Bowen waits little time to take the advantage in turn 1.
We'll see everybody trying to get down on the inside to the low groove as quickly as they can, Jerry.
Field comes rumbling by at over 120 miles an hour as they dice it up back in the pack. Meanwhile, up front, there is Chuck Bowen, 37 years of age from Portland, Oregon. Already getting a little bit of heat from the rookie driver, just 20 years of age, Jeff Gordon.
They will run single file for a while because they put sealer on this track coming in here this week, and the practice and qualifying for the Winston Cup and the Busch Grand National has just made it a one-groove track so far, but maybe if the race goes on, they'll be able to move up a little bit.
A couple of veteran drivers here. That's Butch Miller in the car number 75 that's locally owned by Charlie Henderson. He gets a little bit of a challenge for the car number 92. That's the efforts of Dick Trickle, and Trickle moves by.
Yeah, he made a good move there. And, of course, it was smart on Miller's part not to fight him off once he had a fender up under him, and you can see Trickle pulling away, so apparently his car's a little bit faster right now.
A lot of concern early on about tire wear. They were battling for 4th and 5th spot. Last year, some of the drivers opted not to stop and change tires, and this year they will be allowed to change one tire per position.
That is during a caution period. They can change without penalty during a caution and can change all 4 tires if they wish during the race.
And here's Kenny Wallace trying to make his way up from the rear. Remember, he missed the driver's meeting by virtue of attending his own birthday party, and he is currently being shown back in 27th position.
Yeah, he has passed 5 cars, and that is remarkable on a one-groove racetrack, Jerry. But one thing that he has to be concerned about, Chuck Bowen sitting out there running. Here's Dick Trickle about to make a pass on Dale Earnhardt. He's going to try it on the high side. I said it was a low-groove racetrack. Dick Trickle's going to prove me wrong. Earnhardt gives him the running room, and Trickle moves around on the outside and takes over the 3rd position.
Dick Trickle showing a lot of strength early on in the car number 92. That's the car owned by Max Martin, the Martin Motorsports machine, the Custom Veneers sponsored effort out of Lenore, North Carolina. There they are, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th.
I started to mention a moment ago, the one thing Kenny Wallace has to worry about is Chuck Bowen sitting out there running nothing in front of him, so he can really run fast, and he could, Kenny Wallace can get lapped pretty early in this race.
And there is Chuck Bowen, an Escafé Classic Pontiac. And as you said, Ned, he is running high, wide, and handsome, no traffic at all. And with 32 cars starting on a half-mile track, he may be able to catch that rear pack and get a chance at lapping Kenny Wallace in the first 30 or 40 laps.
Yeah, he'll catch some of those cars in probably 25 laps or less.
Top 10 here in the early laps. It's 11 laps complete as Chuck Bowen showing the way. Jeff Gordon in hot pursuit. Stay with us. Back in a minute. Back at Bristol International Raceway, stop number 24 of the 31 race, $4.5 million NASCAR Busch Grand National Series Tour for 1991. Tonight's Speed World coverage being brought to you by Quaker State. The Big Q is One Cup Motor Oil. And by Budweiser, the king of beers, with that clean, crisp, cold taste, nothing beats a Bud. First caution flag tonight, heavy impact there, Ned. The car number 23
Jeff Purvis.
Jeff Purvis hitting the wall, and that Seal Tech car, the Clint Folsom Buick, sustained some significant front end damage.
Of course, he started back in the 22nd position. Looks like the car won't fire on him down there. And let's see, he's already up into the wall. Boy, you get out of the groove here, and you don't get very good traction until they get that sealer worked in.
Let's check in down on the pits with Benny Parsons. Benny?
Well, Jerry Punch, I just happened to be watching that action between Todd Bodine and Jeff Purvis. Todd Bodine was behind Jeff Purvis going in the corner. He tried to get alongside him down the front straightaway. Couldn't quite get up alongside, but he just touched the left rear as he went in turn 1, and around went Purvis like a top up in the wall. Everyone else was able to get by. Meanwhile, Kenny Wallace, our point leader, was the next car behind. That's one reason I was watching the action, because I was watching Kenny Wallace see how he was going to make it through the traffic, because you're right, he was in jeopardy of getting lapped.
Well, a close call for Kenny Wallace. Look again, another look here, another angle. Let's see the impact of the car really tagging that wall between turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, he does get into it pretty hard. He stays up on the wall at least so that pack of cars could get through, then moves back down on the inside so the rest of the cars could get by.
Showing caution for the first time tonight here at Bristol International Raceway for the impact of Jeff Purvis. Lots of green flag racing yet to come. Don't dare touch that dial. Back at Bristol International Raceway, still working the first caution flag of the evening as a result of this spin by Jeff Purvis, the 31-year-old driver. Take a look here, coming at you in turn 1. He gets a little bit of an assist there, Ned.
Yes, he does, from Todd Bodine as to go into the turn. It didn't take a great deal, and just sent him spinning up against the wall on the outside. Then he slides back across the track out of the way of the other cars, but unfortunately that wall damage to his car is terminal for him.
That was the car Dave Mader has been driving some on the Busch Grand National Tour. It was Jeff Purvis's first start in 1991 in Busch Series racing, and it will end prematurely here with a wall contact in turn 1. Getting set for green flag racing action. Glad to have you with us. 20 laps complete, 230 to go. Green flag 5, and they're headed for turn 1. To put some pressure on Jeff Gordon. The youngster moves to the high side, and Trickle will take second spot away. Earnhardt will try to crowd to the bottom of the racetrack in turn 4, and he will take third spot. So Gordon goes from second to fourth in a heartbeat.
And Earnhardt was holding up a real pack of cars just before that caution came out, and he found a burst of speed here all of a sudden. But Trickle was coming on before. We saw him pass Earnhardt on the outside, and here's Dale Jarrett working on the Jeff Green car number 8, or David Green, that is.
They're back at 9th and 10th spot. David Green and the Phil Martossi on car number 8. And, of course, the car number 32. Last week's winner in Michigan on that final lap. Dale Jarrett now trying to move to the inside on the car number 8 to take away that 8th spot.
Well, some of these fellows are finding a way to pass Jarrett. We knew it was going to be tough, but we've already seen some passes. They'll move that groove up, and we'll see some good side-by-side racing, hopefully, before this race is over.
Right in front of Dale Jarrett, the car number 44. That's Bobby Labonte, who won here back in April. Labonte runs this track awfully well, as does Dale Jarrett, who led here in Winston Cup racing a year ago. And Jarrett finished second in both of the Busch Series events at this racetrack last year.
Here's Jeff Gordon trying to move back around Dale Earnhardt. We had word that he might have had a tire going flat, but apparently everything is okay on that Carolina Ford dealer's car number 1 of Gordon. He's really putting the pressure on Dale Earnhardt, and you see Harry Gant right there behind him. So Gordon has himself sandwiched between two of the best in the business, Dale Earnhardt and Harry Gant.
And you're talking about going to school on a putt. Now, he is watching Earnhardt negotiate this high bank half mile, and Gordon will get high, and Harry Gant will make a move to the inside. Well, that's something that the youngster didn't want to learn.
Yeah, but as Earnhardt, here's trouble down in turn 1. Ernie Irvin is up against the wall as he comes off of turn 2. Let's see, there might not be a caution. He is down out of the way. You can see his back tool Chevrolet. He really got squirrely, hit the wall on the outside. Not too hard, but hard enough he'll perhaps need to come into the pit.
Tough break for Ernie Irvin. There is Dale Earnhardt in the car number 3. He is third. Gant is fourth. And back in fifth spot, showing Butch Miller in the car number 75. Outside up in turn 3, and they will go door to door. Earnhardt holds the low side. Gant slips a little bit. Earnhardt has the advantage in the yellow car you see coming in the street. That's the car number 30, already somewhat battle-torn. That is Michael Waltrip in the Pennzoil Pontiac.
Driving very aggressively here. Michael likes this racetrack, even though he had one of the worst wrecks of his career. And here's Gant on the outside, and Earnhardt touches it. Gant holds on to it. I'll tell you, a lesser race driver would not have been able to hold that Skoll Buick. Harry Gant did a great job there.
A remarkable job on an extremely slick racetrack here. Take a look again as they go into turn 3. Looks like Gant has the advantage, but there's contact.
He goes in there pretty hard, and Earnhardt does hit him, knocks him sideways, and he just dirt tracks his own around, loses some positions, but hangs on to the car. Looked
like he was swatting flies in there. He was jerking that steering wheel back and forth, but he held on, and Gant now falls back in position. Meanwhile, they're working down on the Ernie Irvin car. His Max Tool Chevrolet, his helmet has come off, and Irvin will climb out of the car. The crew now looking over the damage. Looks to be pretty significantly damaged.
And he's not running for points. Harry Gant is definitely off the pace. He might have a tire going down or something. He is off the pace, and there's a log jam around Dale Earnhardt as Jeff Gordon goes around him on the outside as we watch the car number 7 of Harry Gant come slowly around the racetrack, and caution is out.
That's the Ed Whitaker owned car, and the caution is being shown for the second time tonight. On lap number 35, there's a shot of Earnhardt. Contact just moments ago with Harry Gant, and Gant's car coming slowly down pit road.
Well, but he stayed out on the racetrack then, Jerry, and just barely got back to the start-finish line before this caution came out, so I believe he stayed in the lead lap. We understand that he has no brakes on the car.
Caution being shown to the field for the second time tonight. Chuck Bound having everything go his way, already having won a couple of times this year. In fact, he has picked up 3 wins. You see Gant smoke now coming from beneath the cars. He's trying to get, I guess he's pumping those brakes, trying to get the car stopped.
Yeah, I guess so. And probably losing a little fluid. He's going into the pits on the back.
Under caution for the second time tonight here at Bristol International Raceway. Chuck Bound having everything go his way. A good crowd on hand. Glad to have you with us. Stay tuned. Back in a minute. Back at Bristol International Raceway, under caution for the second time tonight. A problem with Harry Gant's car. And, of course, Harry Gant will be driving a lot this weekend. The NASCAR Bud 500 coming your way live from Bristol, Tennessee at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time tonight. The 31st annual Budweiser 500. And one driver hoping to do a little bit better tonight than he's doing right now is standing by with Benny Parsons.
Jerry, I am with Ernie Irvin, who just smacked the wall in turn 2. Had a little help getting it sideways, didn't you?
Yeah, me and Davey got together, and I just got part of the track that's green, and I got up the wall.
Hurt the car too bad?
Yeah, it bent all the steering in it, but, you know, it's not a good day for a Max Tool Chevrolet.
Okay, we're back to the green flag.
Tough break for Ernie Irvin, getting set to go green once again. And watch that white car. That is Dick Trickle. On the left car, that's Dave Resendez, the car number 79 on the outside. Here is 63, which is Chuck Bound.
And they go on the inside of Resendez now. Michael Waltrip now has come from 10th up to 3rd in the yellow pinhole Pontiac. And Jerry, was a brake line broken on Harry Gant's old Buick. So that has had him in the pits. In fact, he's coming out of the pits right now, but he'll be some laps down.
They have pulled away a little bit from Michael Waltrip into car number 30.
Boy, Trickle is really putting the pressure on Chuck Bound. He finished 2nd in this car in the Kroger 200 at Indianapolis. Dick Trickle did. It was a brand new automobile then. Working well.
Mike Laughlin prepared Oldsmobile, the Jim Ruggles engine. Larry Penn is the crew chief, does an excellent job with the car. Once again, they've only run the car once. Dick Trickle, the 1990 Winston Cup Rookie of the Year at 49 years of age.
He likes these kinds of racetracks. Has a lot of experience on them. Of course, Chuck Bound has a lot of experience on just about every kind of a racetrack. One of the smoothest drivers, certainly in the Busch Grand National Series.
Chuck Bound, 6 wins a year ago, en route to becoming the 1990 Series champion. Michael Waltrip trying to creep back in just a little bit. His car didn't get off that well on the restart. Now he's trying to close back in just a little bit on that front twosome.
And back here is a lot of action, Jerry. They're coming up on Dave Resendez there. And the car number 1 of Jeff Gordon has gotten around. Well, he did for a moment around Dale Earnhardt. Let's see if he's going to be able to hold it. No. Earnhardt moves back into that position.
That's the battle for 4th, 5th, and 6th. The 79 is Resendez. He is a lap car. And Earnhardt behind him, the Goodwrench Chevrolet car number 3. That's the 4th place car. Meanwhile, up front, a challenge for the lead in turn 3. And that's where Earnhardt and Gant came together. Now, here comes Michael Waltrip to go by. So both cars slide by the Chuck Bound machine. He goes from 1st and 3rd.
Boy, where did Michael Waltrip come? We said a moment ago that he was losing some ground, and all of a sudden, when Trickle made the move, Michael Waltrip was right there.
The front 3 cars go by. Here is 4, 5, and 6. Earnhardt is in the 4th spot. Number 1 of Jeff Gordon is 5th. Then comes the 75 of Busch Miller in 6th. And Harry Gant has apparently parked that car on pit. Well, let's check in with Benny Carson.
Ned Jarrett, you said that Harry Gant did a great job setting that race car. Let me tell you what a great job he did. He turned the wheel so far to the right in trying to catch the back end. He broke a fitting off the brake. One of the brake line fittings came up and hit the control arm and broke it off. Obviously, they never dreamed the wheel would be turned that far. Harry Gant broke the brake line. He's not trying for Busch Grand National point standings. He decided to park the car.
Just get out and watch a good race. But Harry Gant is always one of the tough ones in that Ed Whitaker shoulder here. But we got trouble here on the front straightaway.
Car number 08 spinning around here. That, of course, is Bobby Dotter, Chicago, Illinois driver.
Bobby got in this race on a provisional. He had some problems, Jerry, in trying to qualify because the engine just wouldn't run, or the fuel pump or something. But anyway, he got in the race on a provisional. But
there's the 31-year-old driver, the Cling-Free sponsored Buick. His father, of course, Bob Dotter, a 3-time ARCA Series champion. And let's take a look again, looking at our speed shot coming out of turn 4. Now, he's the bright orange car coming right at you.
Gets up on the outside, perhaps gets his right wheels, and boy, almost went over as he hit that wall hard, got up almost on the side, comes back down and slides down to the start-finish line.
To get an idea of the speeds here at this half-mile track, the average almost 116.5 miles an hour, and the speeds net on the straightaways have got to be, what, 125 possibly?
Yeah, or even more than that, Jerry.
Bobby Dotter still sitting in the car, moving around, appears to be okay after taking one solid impact up in the wall in turn 4. Third caution flag today. Lots of laps yet to come. Stay with us. Track facts are brought to you by Quaker State. The Big Q is one tough motor oil.
Normally in Busch Grand National Racing, there's 2 tire manufacturers, Hoosier and Goodyear. Tonight, you only see one manufacturer, Goodyear Eagle. This afternoon in practice, Morgan Shepherd, Jimmy Hensley, and Butch Miller, 3 guys who run the Hoosier tires all year long, were the 3 fastest cars on the racetrack. But Hoosier noticed that the tires were not lasting the way they wanted them to. Something in the sidewall was giving away. The tires may explode and lose air. When that happens, a race car goes in the wall. Bob Newton, the president of Hoosier, said it's not worth it to tear up a race car. Let's just take these tires home. Let Goodyear have the business this time. We'll come back next week with a better tire. So tonight, only 1 tire, and it's a good thing because we don't need any more cars in the wall.
That's right, Benny. We're still under caution here for a heavy impact, and you got to give a call to Bob Newton because for being able to do that with the Hoosier tires, concerned about the driver's safety. And speaking of driver's safety, take a look again at the car number 08, Bobby Dotter. Heavy impact. The car gets almost on its left side completely, comes back down on all 4, Ned. In the car, you see the front bodywork dragging across the track as it comes to a halt. And the good news is that he got out of the car and walked away.
Yes, he did. And that was always good to see a driver walk away from a hard lick like that. Looked like he had a little bit of help, Jerry. Several cars running real tight as they came off the turn 4 there, and he got nudged just a little bit, got him out in that outside groove, and he couldn't make the cut.
Taking a look at the field as they pass in review, remember some of the cars that have already exited early. Harry Gant had a brake line come apart when he's had a near spin up in turn 3. Bobby Dotter has walked away. Jeff Purvis has parked the car number 23, the Clint Folsom car. We are just 60 laps into the 250-lap Jay Johnson event. Glad to have you with us. NASCAR Busch Grand National Series Racing. And once again, our leader is Dick Trickle. That's the white car, the lap car on the outside. The red one, that is Dave Resendez. Back to green flag racing.
And Dick Trickle has a problem. On the restart, his car just simply wouldn't go. Michael Waltrip has taken the lead. Dave Resendez is out in front of him, hoping for a caution. Now Trickle's car seems to be going okay, but he got off to a bad start.
Looks like he might have missed a shift there coming out of turn 4. Michael Waltrip taking advantage. Now he wants to get back around Resendez. In trouble up in turn 4 as a couple of cars. Tracy Leslie in the car number 72 spins sideways. Gets the car down off the banking. And the car refires, and he just moves away. So we have not seen the yellow flag as of yet.
And Todd Bodine was in that as well. His car smoking badly as he goes into turn 3 in the Pillsbury car.
That's the Hungry Jack Buick, and you see a lot of smoke out of Todd Bodine's car, the winner at Dover, Delaware early this year. And he will have to bring that car down pit road. He is being black flagged. That's the consultation flag with NASCAR. And there's young Todd Bodine, the youngest of the Bodine brothers. Of course, Brett and Jeff, his older brothers.
And boy, some real banging going on. Jeff Gordon mixing it up with Dale Earnhardt. He got on the inside of him. There just a moment ago, there Dale Jarrett gives Gordon a pop as Gordon had to back off. Now, Gordon has a notion to try to go on the outside of Earnhardt, but there's the slow car of Tracy, no, that's Todd Bodine coming into the pit. So they had to back off and get single file. And the caution is out now.
We told you it'd be a slugfest here in Bristol, Tennessee. They don't call it Thunder Valley for anything. They really enjoy the racing here under the lights. And once again, we see a caution flag for the 4th time today. This caution flag being brought out a moment ago with a spin and contact up in turn 4.
Well, there's the car of Leslie going around, and Tommy Houston was right in the middle, and Todd Bodine rammed into Houston as he slowed down for the spinning car of Tracy Leslie.
And this will be a break for Dave Resendez.
Yep, he was out in front of the leader, so he'll get to come all the way around and put him back in the lead lap.
There's Clyde McLeod and the crew, the Hungry Jack crew, working on the Todd Bodine machine. Todd had a great run here, and is only his first start back in the spring. Qualified 7th, was running up as high as 3rd, and had an engine problem. And of course, he started 31st in this field, was making his way up through the pack, and encountered problems there running into the back of Tommy Houston. Well, caution being shown for the 4th time today here at Bristol, Tennessee. Lots of green flag racing action to come. Don't go away. More from Thunder Valley after this.
Saturday night, all right for fighting on the world's fastest half-mile track. It's bumper-to-bumper excitement under the lights at the Busch 500. Watch and you could win a new car tonight, live on ESPN.
Around the world, around the year, ESPN Speed World brings you over 1 million miles of award-winning coverage. Tonight, we're in the Blue Ridge Mountains of Tennessee at Bristol International Raceway for NASCAR Busch Grand National Series racing action. Once again, under caution for the 4th time of day for this crash up in turn 3 and 4. Look at the right side of your screen, the car number 72, that's Tracy Leslie, and right behind him is a blue car. You see the nose of that car, that's Tommy Houston.
And it looked like Leslie had been on the outside of Jimmy Spencer, who goes out of the picture there, and he came down in front of Tommy Houston. Houston tapped him just a little bit, but Houston had to slow down, and Todd Bodine really got the worst end of this thing, and that's the reason we have the caution now, as we see Leslie's car coming out from down in the grass. But Bodine apparently bursted a radiator or something. He kept going around the racetrack, put a lot of fluid out on the track.
Let's go down to pit row where Benny Parsons is standing by with Larry Penn.
Jerry, want to find out from Larry, what happened to Dick Trickle a moment ago in that restart? Did something happen to the car?
It looks like he probably just missed a shift over there on the restart.
Couldn't get his gear?
Yeah.
Missed the shift, huh?
Now you understand why they call it Thunder Valley. Benny Parsons talking to Larry Penn, the crew chief there for the Dick Trickle car, and apparently he did miss a shift, and it cost him 2 spots. He is now back in 3rd position. Our leader, the car number 30, that is Michael Walter. Behind him is Tracy Leslie, who was a lap down.
He lost the lap in that little encounter during this last caution, but he is working on Michael Walter now to try to get back in the lead lap.
Chuck Bound is the car number 63. He is in 2nd spot. Back in 3rd, that is the Dick Trickle machine, and Earnhardt behind him in 4th.
Walter hanging on to that low groove, though. Now, Leslie thought he had an opening inside, but not quite. He is really putting the pressure on Jared. Gives him a little tap coming off the turn. He gets picked up alongside him. He'll have him going into turn 1.
Good move by Tracy Leslie.
And look at Chuck Bowen. And Dick Trickle moving on the inside. Boy, once you get out in that high groove, the freight train goes by.
Tracy Leslie has elapsed himself. Chuck Bound has become the new leader, and there's Earnhardt. Car number 3, he's back in 4th spot, right in front of Jeff Gordon in the car number 1, the Carolina Ford dealer's Ford Thunderbird.
I think Jeff Gordon's car is faster than Earnhardt's, Jerry, but he just hasn't been able to pass him. He's been on the outside of him, he's been on the inside of him, but Earnhardt, with the experience that he has been able to hold off the rookie. But look at Gordon putting the pressure on.
Dale Earnhardt, 2 wins this year. His first win coming in the season opener at Daytona, also won at Charlotte.
And here's Steve Grissom making a pass on Bobby Labonte, and the car number 75 of Busch Miller also trying to move on the inside of Labonte. And look at a string of cars behind Labonte up on the outside. He's going to lose a lot of positions. And Dale Earnhardt being passed finally by Jeff Gordon.
Dale Earnhardt moves to the inside, and now Dale Jarrett will go around the outside of Dale Earnhardt in the Goodrich Chevrolet.
I think Earnhardt realized that he was holding Gordon and Jarrett up, so he just gave him running room up on the outside, which was a gentlemanly thing to do. Not something that you normally think of Dale Earnhardt, but he knows his car is not quite as fast as some other cars on the racetrack right now. He's just trying to ride it out here for a while until he makes a pit stop, and then hope to make some adjustments on it.
Back up front, here is our leader. That's Chuck Bound in the car number 63, the NASCAR Classic Pontiac. Behind him is Dick Trickle in the car number 92. And in front of them, that's the car of Tracy Leslie. He would like to see a caution flag come out right now so he can make up that lap. He was just on the tail end of the lead lap.
Jerry, we were talking about Bobby Labonte when we saw him get on the outside there a moment ago. He lost 10 positions.
Here is Steve Grissom in the car number 31. He was there where Grissom is. You see that car number 31 behind him there, Busch Miller.
And look all the way, well, we still didn't see Labonte come into the picture there.
And Michael Waltrip now coming on again in the car number 30.
Yeah, he was probably a little bit aggravated there that he got nudged out of the lead and dropped back to third place when Tracy Leslie got on the inside of him.
They are indeed moving quickly here on this half-mile high-banked oval in Bristol, Tennessee. We move you around and show you battles all over the racetrack here. Up front, in the middle of the pack, in the back of the pack is Michael Waltrip now brings them off. That's the bright yellow car. Not hard to pick that car out of the crowd. The Pennzoil colors out of turn 2, now in turn 3.
You got 6 cars running in a pack, 5 of them in the first 5 position, and the cars right directly in front of all of them is Tracy Leslie. He's a lap down, and he is currently being shown in the 26th position. So 26 cars are on the lead lap still after some 88 laps.
Front 5 cars right there, and there is Dick Trickle. 49 years of age, best 91 finish, second at Charlotte this year. Dale Jarrett almost making a move inside of the youngster, Jeff Gordon.
You tell you that right at that moment at least.
They have pulled away about 6 or 7 car lengths from Dale Earnhardt, just coming in there to the 6th spot. There they are, the front 5 cars. We'll see if Jarrett can make a move now again in turn 3. Gordon takes his spot away down on the bottom of the racetrack, and Gordon has got a windshield full of Pennzoil Pontiac and a mirror full of SC's Crunch Pontiac. He's surrounded by Pontiac.
Yes, he is, but he's doing a good job of holding the inside line and protecting his position. He's not intimidating these fellows that have a lot more experience than him.
Of course, Jeff Gordon has run up to Winchester and Salem, Indiana in the midget and sprint cars and used that competition where he has been awfully tough to beat. And this track reminds me of a lot of that one up there. Here's some of the drivers that are out of the race: Ernie Irvin, Aaron Gant, Jeff Purvis, and Bobby Donner. 4 drivers who have retired here early at Bristol, Tennessee.
Now, somebody's holding up. Evidently, Tracy Leslie is holding all of these up because Dale Earnhardt has caught back up to them. He has dropped about 10 car lengths behind, but he has caught back up now because the cars of Jeff Gordon and Michael Waltrip and everybody is being held up front. Now, Dick Trickle trying to move on the inside of the car number 63 of Chuck Bound, and Chuck Bound has simply not been able to move around Tracy Leslie.
Tracy Leslie, one of the rookies this year in Busch Series competition. He has been the highest finishing rookie the last 2 times out. In fact, he finished Raceway Park, his best finish of the season. That, of course, on ESPN.
I think I said that Dick Trickle finished second in that race. He must have finished third, didn't he?
Right, he finished out of the IRP.
I knew he was up there in the top 5. He had a good run.
There's the front pack, the front 6 cars, and the lap car of Leslie. And here they are, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, and on back.
You can see Davey Allison and Morgan Shepherd back there in that pack. Elton Sawyer having a good run in car number 67, the white car with no sponsorship on it. Here's Davey Allison trying to move on the inside of Morgan Shepherd, but there's no room there for him. That's Jimmy Spencer in the red car with the yellow numeral on it.
Again on the 100 lap mark, back up front, and Chuck Bound is trying his best to get around Tracy Leslie. having the tiptoe there, the groove is a little bit slippery up high.
Yes, it is. And Tracy Leslie is protecting that inside groove. Chuck really putting the pressure on as he's getting pressure from the rear. All of those cars just running bumper to bumper.
Now we'll see if there is Chuck Bound, the defending series champion. He has the inside advantage. Now we'll see if they will move by. Building the lane there. Dick Trickle, Michael Waldrop, Dale Jarrett, Jeff Gordon, and they all will try to keep Tracy Leslie to the high side, as Leslie will now lose that lap back to the leaders, and he will fall back in line. Of course, he is already a lap down behind the 6th place car there of Dale Earnhardt.
Yeah, once the leader got by, it didn't make a whole lot of difference, Jerry, because he was a lap down, so the best thing you can do is just stay up there and let everybody else go by and let them race for their positions. Here's that second pack. That's the 7th place car of Steve Grissom. Boy, he's got a pack of cars behind him, too.
There's Morgan Shepherd in the car number 97, Texas Speed Ford Thunderbird. Of course, the Hamlin Buick and Davey Allison back there, car number 28. He is in 11th spot. He's making their way to the front behind him, the car number 98. That's, of course, the effort of Jimmy Spencer. Slipping and sliding all over this track here in Bristol, Tennessee.
I believe Butch Miller might be just a little bit faster in that car number 75 than Steve Grissom in car number 31, and he might have it going into turn 3. He moves on the inside, but Grissom covers the spot and holds on to the position. I think we're seeing a situation here similar to the car 72 out front there a moment ago, and he was holding up that front-running pack, Jerry. I think Steve Grissom is holding this whole pack up, and now Butch Miller gets to the inside and makes the pass, but quickly the car number 31 of Steve Grissom, he covers that inside spot, which was a smart thing for him to do, because if he would have gotten from that outside, he'd been like Bobby Labonte a little while ago. He could have lost 10 or 15 positions.
Butch Miller will take that spot away in the car number 75. Behind him is Steve Grissom. Both Miller and Grissom have won this year. Miller winning at Hickory, Grissom winning just in late July up at South Boston. Back up front, there is Chuck Bound in car number 63, the Nescafe Classic Pontiac. He started on the pole, his 5th pole of the year, and he's leading here comfortably at Bristol International Raceway. Over 140 laps to go. Don't go way back after this. Top 5 after 107 of 250 laps at Bristol International Raceway. The Jay Johnson, and that just changed moments ago as Dale Jarrett now has moved inside of the car number 1 of Jeff Gordon. Earnhardt now beginning to make a move on Gordon. That would be for the 5th spot.
Jarrett's car appeared to be just a little bit faster than Jeff Gordon. It took him a long time to move around it, but he finally got the opportunity. Now let's see if he can chase down the front runners.
There's the man they're chasing, Chuck Bound, car number 63, 37 years of age from Portland, Oregon. There, of course, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th.
Now the leader is going to be coming up on some heavy traffic here before long, Jerry. As a matter of fact, coming off the turn 2, he's in it right now as we watch Dale Earnhardt and Jeff Gordon for that 5th position. But the leader, Chuck Bound, is in very heavy traffic, beginning to put laps on some cars.
What they're calling a groove and a half racetrack could get awfully tight here. And there's the next pack. Steve Grissom in the car number 31. Doug Hunt in the car number 87 of Joe Nemechek. Davey Allison is there. Jimmy Spencer. Those cars 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th you see on the screen there. Grissom in the car number 31, the Oldsmobile. Nemechek, the defending rookie of the year in the series out of Lakeland, Florida.
Now they're about a third of a lap ahead of Chuck Bound. There's a lot of cars behind them and nothing but race cars between Chuck Bound and all of them, so he has a lot of machinery to go through before he gets up there to Griffin and them. And these cars are not going to be easy to pass, even though they'll be getting the passing flag.
Nemechek really working over the rear. Now gets the move inside of Steve Grissom. Will take the 8th spot away. Davey Allison will follow him by. We'll see if Jimmy Spencer, yes, Spencer will make it by in turn 3.
Once he got out of that outside groove, he lost 3 spots. Now,
Lead change up front. Car number 92, Dick Trickle, moved to the inside. It looked like there may be a problem on the Chuck Bound car. His car either got up and flipped a little bit. Now he's coming back up to speed a little bit. He falls back in line behind Jeff Gordon.
All the way back to 5th place, Jerry, from 1st to 5th. So Dick Trickle is taking over the lead. Michael Waltrip is 2nd. Dale Jarrett has moved into 3rd.
Let's see what happened here, Ned.
Well, they were coming up on traffic, and, well, might have got just a little bit of a tap from Dick Trickle going into the turn there. And then Trickle got under him, and here's Jarrett trying to move around. Michael Waltrip trying to take over the 2nd position.
Dale Jarrett runs this track awfully well. He will try to make the move and will make the move inside. Makes it look almost easy down in turns 1 and 2, and he slides by, has him by a car length and a half coming off turn 2.
Well, I think Michael looked up and seen him and gave him the room he needed. And here, more passing. Morgan Shepherd, Steve Griffin is caught on the outside again, and he's going to lose about, well, 3 more positions this time, and he's going to look up in his rear view mirror, and he's going to go a lap down here. He is careful.
Action all over this half-mile track, and we're going to bring you as much as we possibly can. And now Steve Grissom, Roddenberry-sponsored Oldsmobile, really having his hands full. Car going away with the handle, and now Robert Presley in the car number 59 will move to the inside underneath Grissom. Behind him is Bobby Labonte, the young man who won here back in April.
Oh, there's trouble. That's Tom Peck coming down in front of some of the 3rd, 4th, and 5th place cars. He gets down out of the way. Everybody gets by, but the caution waves.
Caution being shown for the 5th time today at Bristol International Raceway, and Tom Peck in the car number 96.
He was right in the middle of that big pack of cars that we've been watching, Jerry.
Take a look at the back of your screen here, the right side of your screen. See the blue car come into your picture. Now he gets a little bit of a help up there up in turn 3, and the car begins to spin. Yes,
he does. He got tapped going into the turn and sent him around up on the outside. That was the car number 27 of Jeff Gordon that tapped him just a little bit. Michael Waltrip and Jeff Gordon gets by as Tom Peck slides down to the inside of the track.
Now that 27 of Ward Burton coming together, and remember, they are allowed to change 1 tire per position. We have 123 laps complete, and some of the cars are on pit road. Here's Chuck Bound. Let's go to Vinnie Parsons.
Sure, they're changing the right side of the car. Hubert Hensley, the owner, is putting around the wedge in the left rear, filling the car up with fuel. They change the right side. Tiny is moving the right front, the gas is down, and away he goes. I'll try to get a word with Jeff Hensley and find out exactly what was wrong with the car.
Well, now the leaders, Dick Trickle, and 2nd place Dale Jarrett, have to get on the backstretch, and there they are back in the, and Dale Earnhardt back on the backstretch as well. So this is going to be a disadvantage for those drivers, the Winston Cup drivers. Earnhardt getting 4 tires on his Goodwrench Chevrolet, so they're going to come out way back in the pack, and it's going to be a little tough for them coming up through the field, but that's one of the prices they pay for being a Winston Cup driver in a Busch Grand National race.
And here's Jeff Gordon, the Carolina Ford dealer with Ford Thunderbird, as they go to work on that car, the Bill Davis-owned machine, and they will change right side tires. You see, some of them have changed 4 tires. Here is the Goodwrench Chevrolet for Dale Earnhardt coming down. And Chuck Bound is back in. Benny Parsons is still there. Benny?
Jerry, this time they had decided to change the left side of the car, and I'm watching for Dale Earnhardt. He said he changed 4 tires. He's coming on the racetrack, and I don't know exactly who's going to be in front. I guess Earnhardt will be in front of Chuck Bound. The fact he changed 4 tires, and Bound changed 2, and came back in and changed 2 more.
And Benny, there were a number of other cars that pitted on the backstretch, like Dale Jarrett and Dick Trickle, and several others that came out ahead of the number of those that are pitting on the front stretch. Dale Jarrett got out in front of Bobby Labonte, and so it wasn't as big a disadvantage as it could have been.
And here's a tire that someone has let roll out near the racetrack down in turn 3. And there's a good look at a Goodyear Eagle radial. And they changed tires. You're supposed to take the ones you take off behind the wall, barely one getting away from someone. So while we're working the 5th caution flag today, we'll retrieve that tire, get the field lined up, and get back to more green flag racing from Bristol International Raceway. Don't go away. More after this.
Limited edition GMC Cyclone. Technology that speaks for itself. In fact, your GMC truck dealer would like to show you only one more Cyclone feature.
Back at Bristol International Raceway, the NASCAR J. Johnson 250 coming your way. NASCAR Busch Grand National Series racing action. A lot of sports yet to come this weekend. Sunday night baseball live at 8 p.m. Eastern time. The Cincinnati Reds versus the New York Mets, as the Reds try to catch the streaking Dodgers, who have been hot and cold, and they take on the Mets in New York. Don't miss it, live at 8 p.m. Sunday night baseball on ESPN. Penalties for too fast on pit road. Jimmy Hensley, Chuck Bound, and Jeff Burton. Those cars getting back to the rear of the field. We're getting ready to go back to green flag racing action. Lap 130 as they head for turn 1.
And Ward Burton in the Gwaltney Big 8 hot dog Buick is the leader, car number 27. And in second place is Dave Resendez, who was fighting to get back in the lead lap a while back, and now he's running
Trouble
second.
over
We
in
got
turn
trouble,
3.
big trouble.
Trouble in turn 3. 3 cars come together. Jimmy Spencer has come together, Richard Lassiter, and Morgan Shepherd. Heavy contact. One car getting sideways in the middle of the backstretch, and they push that car all the way to turn 3. And now the leaders, other cars making their way out of turn 2, and they see the caution lights blinking. And you see what's left of Morgan Shepherd, Texas Pete Ford Thunderbird.
Well, Dick Trickle is racing back to the yellow flag. They don't do that, I don't think, under these Busch Grand National. Sort of a gentleman's agreement, and I expect they'll put him back in another position.
And the car number 05, Richard Lassiter, getting hooked up with the car out of turn 2. Down the backstretch, he comes across right in front of Morgan Shepherd. Shepherd has nowhere to go, and Spencer is on the brakes. He can't get his car stopped. He tags both Shepherd and Lassiter, as Shepherd's car gets the most damage, Spencer and Lassiter having pulled away.
And here's Morgan Shepherd. You can see him moving around in the Texas Pete Sauce's Ford number 97. Morgan was really looking forward to this race here. He's worked awfully hard on this car this year. Had some engine problems, but you can see.
Now, Richard Lassiter inside of Butch Miller here, and those cars almost look like they're hooked together. Lassiter
does, yeah.
Trying to get the car turned. Now his car
there, the bumper goes away, yeah. But the car comes loose, and Shepherd he slides right out in front of him. Shepherd has nowhere to go. Neither does Jimmy Spencer in the Food City car number 98. There you can see the damage on Jimmy Spencer's car.
That's what's left of Spencer's Chevrolet Lumina. He will come his back down pit road. And here's Morgan Shepherd's Ford Thunderbird, the Texas Pete car. And Shepherd sitting in the car with the NASCAR official standing by. We're under caution for the 6th time today. It gets exciting always in Thunder Valley, and we've still got laps left. Stay with us.
Nothing beats a winning team, pushing hard, reaching for the dream. Nothing beats clean, crisp and cold. Got the king of beer, you're on a roll. Nothing beats the Bud, Budweiser. Nothing beats the Bud, nothing beats the Bud.
Back at Bristol International Raceway, Benny Parsons, Ned Jarrett, and yours truly, Jerry Punch, bringing you Grand National Racing action. The top 20, Dave Resendez. Remember, he was a lap down early on, now being shown as the leader. Ward Burton running in 2nd spot, Dale Jarrett, Bobby Labonte, and Jeff Gordon rounding out the top 5. Trickle, Earnhardt, Davey Allison up in 8th spot, Robert Presley, and Tommy Houston, the veteran, in 10th spot.
In 11th is Kenny Wallace, all the way up from the rear of the field. Steve Grissom, 12th, David Green, then Joe Nemechek and Michael Waltrip in 15th place. 16th through 20th, Jeff Burton, Chuck Bowen, Elton Sawyer, and Jimmy Hensley. Now 19 cars are in the lead lap. Butch Miller being shown in 20th position. He is 1 lap down.
And then we are under caution for the 6th time today. They're cleaning up the area of the incident over in turn 3. Let's take a look again at what happened. Now, the car number 05, the yellow car on your screen, hooks the right front bumper with Butch Miller, and they are hooked up down the backstretch.
Yeah, the cars wouldn't come apart, and we'll see the bumper of Miller's car fly off there, but the car 05 slides out in front of Morgan Shepherd, and then Jimmy Spencer comes in there, and both of them nail them, and both of them out of the race, of course.
And 49-year-old Morgan Shepherd has parked his car, as is Jimmy Spencer, and we understand that possibly Chuck Bound may be having some problems in the Nescafe Pontiac. Let's go down to Benny Parsons.
Jerry Punch, this is Jeff Henson, the crew chief on the Nescafe Pontiac. Is Chuck having a transmission problem?
Well, we're having a little bit of trouble with the release bearing right now on our Nescafe Classic Pontiac. I think we got the collar that holds the release bearing is broke. You match the pedal one time, it matches, it works fine. Next time it's a little bit hard, but I don't think it's nothing that'll give us a problem right now. He can shift it good. We got a little bit behind on the stops. They said we were speeding down pit road, and we had to go down the longest line, but the Nescafe Classic Pontiac's running real good. If we can just miss these wrecks and get back to the front, I think we got a chance at it.
Okay, guys, here they come to you. Green flag.
Indeed, green flag at lap 143 coming at you. Dave Resendez, 31 years of age from Massachusetts, leading the way. There's Dale Jarrett, the car number 32. He's back in third spot.
And flipping in between the first and second place cars, Ward Burton still running second, but Tracy Leslie slipped in between them and is running handily out in front of Ward Burton in the Walton Big 8 Hot Dog Buick. Jarrett working on Burton now, trying to move around him.
Ward Burton set on the pole at Indianapolis Raceway Park on ESPN just a few weeks ago. Burton trying to improve on his best finish of the year, a fourth at Dover, Delaware, back on June 1st. And now Dale Jarrett makes the move look easy inside in turn 3.
I think Burton gave him the room that he needed going into the turn. Now Burton comes back up on his rear bumper. We'll see if Jarrett was that much faster, see if he can pull away. You can see the distance. The red car to the left of the screen is the leader. That's Dave Resendez. He has taken off from the second place car, which is now Jarrett.
Field passing by. There's Dale Earnhardt. One car closing in on Earnhardt. Looks to be the machine of Davey Allison. Earnhardt behind the car number 75 of Busch Miller.
Of course, Busch is one lap down. And here's the car 31 of Steve Grissom and the 30 car of Michael Waltrip as they battle for position.
They are 11th and 12th spot, Dan, just out trying to get to the top 10. Steve Grissom in the car number 31. The Pennzoil Pontiac of Michael Waltrip now trying to make a move. Then behind him is the car number 59. That's Robert Presley. He is 13th, so 11th, 12th, and 13th altogether. And with contact there.
Michael says, hey, Steve, my car's 30, and this supposed to go in front of 31.
But Steve has a different idea.
Yes, he does. He said, we'll go in reverse as far as these numbers are concerned, but won't last long, because here comes Waltrip, takes the measure on, takes the position.
Remember, these cars have made pit stops under the caution flag. Most have changed all 4 tires. Of course, NASCAR allowing 1 tire per position tonight under caution, so they have dialed these cars back in. Grissom's car was not handling well early on. It has come back somewhat. Waltrip in 11th spot, Steve Grissom in 12th, and of course, Robert Presley in 13th.
Winner this year on the Busch Grand National Circuit, currently being shown in 9th in the point standing. Steve Grissom is 7th. He also has a victory.
Robert Presley won at Rougemont and at Orange County Speedway.
And yellow flag is out, Jerry, for debris on the racetrack.
So let's just past the 150 lap mark, less than 100 laps to go, and we're showing caution for the 7th time today. NASCAR Busch Grand National Series racing action, always exciting here under the lights of Bristol, Tennessee. Glad to have you with us. Racing at Thunder Valley. Jay Johnson 250 and debris on the racetrack, and there is the car number 79, the leader, and there's the Chevrolet safety crew. The NASCAR safety crew as they speed down and look for some debris on the racetrack. Pontiac pace car will pick the field up in turn 3.
You know, if you counted that quick dry debris, there'd be a lot of it on the racetrack, Jerry, because there's some all the way around the racetrack. It was put down a little while ago, and Todd Bodine apparently bursted a radiator and maybe even the oil line on his car.
Caution lights blinking once again, and we mentioned the fact Dave Resendez has not had a great year. In fact, he said it's the worst year he's had in racing. If you look at some of the crews standing around, and there they are picking up the debris on the speedway. Resendez's best finish this year on 9th at South Boston back on May the 4th. He has not even had a top 5 finish after having a couple of good runs in 1990.
Well, there was quite a bit of debris on the racetrack, Jerry, as you see these fellas picking it up. And I'll tell you, it doesn't take much of that kind of thing, these Vice-Ply tires, to cut into them very easily and can cause a lot of problems.
NASCAR very safety conscious because they realize these cars are on the ragged edge here, and they run some pretty high speeds at Bristol, Tennessee. Now, they run the bias-ply tie here. Now, they haven't run the radials here yet.
No, they haven't. Of course, this is the highest bank track they run on. They haven't run them yet at Dover, Delaware, which is another high bank racetrack, or let's see, I don't think they ran them at Talladega either. Or did it the last time. But anyway, they, I guess, just haven't developed the tire yet. I think we'll see it sometime in the not too distant future.
Top 10, Dave Resendez holding off Dale Jarrett, Ward Burton, Bobby Labonte, and Jeff Gordon. 6 through 10, Dick Trickle, Dale Earnhardt, Davey Allison from way back in the field up to 8th spot. Tommy Houston, the veteran, and Kenny Wallace. Remember, he had to go to the rear of the field. He's our point leader, and now he's being shown cracking the top 10 in 10th spot. Getting set to resume green flag racing action. Yes, a tremendous crowd on hand, a record crowd of over 50,000. Busch Grand National Series racing action. Fine folks here, Larry Carrier, Ron Scalf at Bristol International Raceway, hosting the NASCAR Busch Grand National Tour. Little bumping there at the start. Dave Resendez holding down to a slow speed in lap 156. They go back to green.
And Tracy Leslie was trying to get back on the inside behind the car number 79 to put Jarrett back, put a car between he and Jarrett. It looked like he got that accomplished going into turn 3. Tracy Leslie wants to get up there and get back in the lead lap.
Well, he's done it once before tonight, able to make a move and get back in the lead lap, but now he is right on the rear deck of Dave Resendez, and he taps Resendez, and Resendez can't hold on. Coming off turn 2, a tough break at the lap car. Tracy Leslie taps Resendez. He keeps the car away from the wall. No caution flag. Now he has the car refire, but he goes all the way from first to last as Richard Lassiter just trying to hang on to the car number 05. He's one of the rookie competitors, already involved in one incident tonight, and he gets the car straightened back up.
And really, Leslie is more than one lap down. That didn't put him back in the lead lap, Jerry. It just puts him back one of the laps that he is down. I think the scores are showing that he is currently about 3 laps behind the leader.
Let's look again and see what happened. Coming off turn 2, Tracy Leslie tapping the rear bumper of the leader, Dave Resendez. His car spins.
Of course, that was the break for Dale Jarrett. Gave him the lead without having to pass the leader.
And Richard Lassiter, 25 years of age from Arkansas. Now look down. You'll see his car get tapped in turn 3 and 4 by Kenny Wallace. Lassiter, even though he's a rookie, did a pretty good job. He got the car down pit road, got it straightened up, and headed back in the same direction. No caution flag, but lots of contact. And here's Elton Sawyer, car number 67. Apparently, he has come into contact with someone.
Yeah, he had some damage on the left front. I saw a little smoke coming. Yes, that looks like there is smoke coming from that car. A lot of banging going on out there. As we said at the top of the show, Jerry, survival is the key here.
Here's 6th, 7th, and 8th spot right here. Dale Earnhardt being passed by Tommy Houston, the veteran, 45 years of age, goes around Earnhardt and takes a 6th spot away. Earnhardt gets tagged a little bit by Davey Allison, and those cars are battling. Earnhardt in a Chevrolet, Allison in a Buick.
Earnhardt's car still not working as well as he would like for it to. Now he moves to the inside, allows Davey Allison to put up on the outside. There's Michael Walker in the yellow car, and he touches the car number 36 of Kenny Wallace, and they spin around. Well, let's see, everybody headed in the right direction again, but the yellow flag is out.
Yeah, the yellow flag does come out as we had contact. They were battling back there for 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th spot, 2 by 2 in heavy contact, and once again we show the caution flag being flown to the field, and they are going to bring the black flag out. There's the leader, Dale Jarrett, the Nestle's Crunch Pontiac. Let's look again and see what happened. Here's Michael Waltrip, the yellow car, inside of Kenny Wallace.
And they go into turn 1, Jerry, and touch just a little bit. It doesn't take much going into these turns. Earnhardt and Davey Allison were bumping a little bit up there in front of them, but this is where the main action was, back behind them. Kenny makes a complete 360. Take a look at it from another angle as Michael Waltrip in the Pennzoil Pontiac tries to get on the inside of the Cox-treated lumber Pontiac of the point leader, Kenny Wallace, and around he goes.
Robert Presley does a great job in the 59, as does Joe Nemechek and others to get through there. Presley really threading the needle to keep his car from further contact.
What do we say about dodging spins?
Indeed, we are under yellow once again at Bristol International Raceway. A rash of yellow fever, but more green flag laps coming. And we're back after this. Pleased to have you with us back at Bristol International Raceway for the Jay Johnson 250. What a slugfest. And of course, more racing action coming your way tonight of a different variety, from horsepower to hoof power. The Budweiser Racing Across America from Saratoga Springs, New York. It's Saratoga's premier race for 2-year-olds, run on the nation's oldest track. The Hopeful, that's coming your way at 6 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN.
Well, we're gearing up for a restart, Jerry. Once again, Butch Miller moves up on the outside of Dale Jarrett back there on the backstretch. Those cars that are at least a lap down to theirs. Tracy Leslie up there, the second car in line on the outside. So he was in front of Jarrett when the caution came out. So he got one of his laps back. He still is being shown. He's 21st place, still 3 laps down.
I'm not sure if I was Jarrett, I would want to leave this lap, as the crowd of over 50,000 are on their feet, and they are enjoying quite an event here in NASCAR Busch Grand National Series Racing. And Jarrett pulls away by a couple of cars and gets a good jump there on the restart.
Yes, he did get a good jump. Moved out in front of the lap cars, and which pulled him pretty far away from the car number 27, Ward Burton.
That's Tracy Leslie. His car nearly getting sideways. He gathered it back in.
Yeah, he didn't get off to the start that time that he did on the other restart, so he's not much in position to make up another of those laps.
That's Dick Trickle in the car number 92 right behind him.
Still 18 cars being shown in the lead lap.
Trickle is the 5th place car. With Dale Jarrett as the leader, Ward Burton running in 2nd spot.
Bobby Labonte is 3rd. Jeff Gordon is 4th. Dick Trickle, as you mentioned, is in the 5th position.
There's Dick Trickle in the car number 92. Back behind him is Tommy Houston. You look up there in front. That's Ward Burton in the car number 27. Get a shot there of Dale Jarrett, the leader. Jarrett has never won at Bristol International Raceway in Busch competition. There have been 13 different winners here over the years, and there have been 18 Busch events, but Jarrett has finished second a number of times, but has never gone to victory lane.
Well, his Nestle Crunch Pontiac seems to be working well tonight. John Irvin, the crew chief on the car. Kenny Knuth and Mark Shook done a good job in setting the car up. They sort of struggled with that car at Indianapolis, Jerry, in the Progress 200 a few weeks ago. Finally wound up 7th in the race, but it was not up to their liking. So they made a bunch of changes on it. Apparently did good work.
Well, Dale was telling me they brought the Speedway car here, the car that they won with at Rockingham and Darlington, and they really like this race car. It runs awfully well. It's a nice handling car, and apparently Dale is doing a great job. Here's a good battle back in the pack. It's Bobby Labonte in the car number 44. That's for 3rd and 4th spot, and Jeff Gordon. A couple of young drivers.
Back here.
Gordon still looking for his first win in Busch Series competition. Picked up the pole back in June at Orange County Speedway. And of course, Bobby Labonte has 2 wins to his credit. Both wins coming on ESPN this year. He won it here in April, and of course won at Indianapolis Raceway Park on ESPN just a few weeks ago.
Ward Gordon really putting the pressure on Bobby Labonte.
There's the front end of the Nescafe Classic Pontiac. That's what happens when you lead here for very long. It's a tough break for Chuck Bound.
I think he and Joe Nemechek might have gotten together, Jerry, car number 87.
He's being shown in the 9th position, so even though he's encountered some problems and even had a penalty for too fast on pit road, that great pit work has got him in the top 10. Heavy traffic there. There's Richard Lassiter, who has some bumper hanging off the rear of that car as he goes up high out of harm's way.
And Bobby Labonte takes over the 2nd position from Ward Burton. So the Penrose Sausage car has passed the hot dog car, the Gwaltney hot dog car at 27, and now the car number 1 of Jeff Gordon, the Carolina Ford dealer's entry, trying to move around Burton.
There's our leader, Dale Jarrett.
He's just driving away from him. Biggest lead we've seen tonight by anyone.
Car number 32, Dale Jarrett leading the way as we have less than 70 laps to go. 181 complete. More green flag racing in a moment. Back at Bristol International Raceway, exciting Busch Grand National Racing action. Dale Jarrett is our leader in lap 182. Laps are winding down. Jarrett trying to pick up win number 3, but we have heavy racing action everywhere. Car number 27 being shown as a 3rd place car. It's 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Ward Burton, Jeff Gordon, and the veteran Dick Trickle back there. Behind them is the lap car, Tracy Leslie, the other red car. And Leslie gets a little tap on Dick Trickle, the 5th place car.
Boy, they drive into these turns so hard, Jared. If somebody backs off just a little bit, they run in on top of them. Here, boy, Jeff Gordon, very aggressive, and the car 05 gets up on the wall, and he's going to get into the wall now.
And his car comes to rest right in the middle of the groove, and a couple of cars just barely getting by Richard Lassiter out of turn 4. That's the rookie driver out of Arkansas, and he's trying to get the car back around to the back pits.
Butch Miller trying to get a lap back on Dale Jarrett. He might get it. I think he did at the start-finish line as Jarrett got pinned in behind the car number 67 of Elton Sawyer.
There's some of the debris on the racetrack as the cars go whipping by. The caution is being shown once again. Let's take a look again. Here they are coming through turns 1 and 2, and Gordon is trying to move inside of Burton, and he gets both cars get behind the Lassiter machine.
Yeah, and Ward Burton just barely tips the Lassiter machine, gets him up into the wall, and then to go into turn 1. And apparently Lassiter has a flat tire, not much steering, and into the wall he goes again.
Different angle looking down from turn 3 up the back straightaway. And once again, Richard Lassiter right in front of Ward Burton tags the concrete as Jeff Gordon goes by, and Ward Burton can't get by. Let's see Davey Allison come by in the car number 28, the Haviland Buick. As Lassiter comes off the wall, here comes Davey. Just going above him.
Good move on the outside. And, of course, Dale Earnhardt and Michael Waltrip went by as well.
And Davey Allison in the car number 28. He's being shown in 7th spot. And he started way back in 25th, so he's moved all the way to 7th. But there's the man there chasing the Citco Leslie's Crunch Pontiac of Dale Jarrett. 186 of 250 laps complete. Bobby Labonte running in 2nd spot. Robert Presley now being shown in the top 10. Earnhardt back in 9th. Lots of green flag racing laps coming your way. It's going to be a shootout at Bristol. Don't go away. Back in a moment.
One car manufacturer has more NASCAR victories than anyone. Winning over 350 NASCAR races. Over 4 decades of racing. That car manufacturer is Ford. And that kind of winning performance goes beyond the winner's circle.
NASCAR Busch Grand National Series racing action coming your way from Bristol International Raceway. The Jay Johnson 250, our ESPN Speed World coverage. Benny Parsons down trackside. Ned Jarrett and yours truly, Jerry Punch, here in the booth. As one hot customer, Richard Lassiter, is not really happy about some contact there, some finger pointing back and forth. He's pointing out toward the Gwaltney car of number 27 of Ward Burton, but Lassiter was in front of him in a lap car, and I guess he was trying to get out of the way.
Well, yes, he was, and of course he got tapped just a little bit, didn't take much, and into the wall he went, and then of course when he went into turn 1, had not much steering, and the green flag waved again.
A little bit of contact on the restart between Dale Jarrett and Tracy Leslie, as Leslie was trying to get a lap back, and Jarrett made the move to the inside, the pull away, and that was a good move on Jarrett's part because he knew that Bobby Labonte would be right there behind him.
Bobby Labonte won here in the spring. Knows how to get around this racetrack. And needs to pick up some points on Kenny Wallace. Kenny Wallace is currently being shown in the 12th position. Bobby Labonte in 2nd.
Bobby Labonte, there's the lap car. Tracy Leslie in between the 2nd and 3rd place car of Labonte and Jeff Gordon. The Detroit gasket car owned by Ron Parker.
Hey, I'm impressed with Jeff Gordon, the run he's having here tonight, Jerry. He has been up in the thick of the battle, top 5 all night long.
And Eddie's only been here once, and he didn't get to run but 22 laps here in the spring. They had a belt come off, and now he does make a move around the outside. A little bit of bob and weave and fram and bam as he gets to the outside. He is dirt tracking it up there with that right rear tire.
He don't need to do a whole lot of that, but he had to get the car back under control, but he really took it into that turn fast. Jeff Gordon, and of course he moved around Tracy Leslie.
Just when you bragged on him too, Ned, he was doing so well, and you talked about how good he was doing, and he gets the car up a little bit high, and when he hangs on, takes the spot away from on the racetrack. He's still running in 3rd spot behind Bobby Labonte. There's the Penrose Oldsmobile of Bobby Labonte. You see the difference between Labonte there and Dale Jarrett. Labonte going into turn 1, Jarrett meanwhile in turn 2. There's our leader. Great shot from our high cameras. Glad to have you with us here. Busch Grand National Series racing action, always exciting on the high banks here. 36-degree, 3-story high banking. Out of race, some of the drivers you've been watching for. Of course, Morgan Shepherd also out. Again, Irvin, Purvis, Stoddard, Spencer, Tom Peck, Oliver, and Richard Lassiter, the latest to retire. Steve Grissom is behind the wall there working on his Roddenberry Oldsmobile as he will try to get back in and pick up some valuable Busch Series points.
Jarrett just had my unofficial stopwatch on Dale Jarrett the last lap, and turned a lap of 16.90, which is not too much. What did he qualify at? About 16.75 or something like that. So he's not running much slower than he qualified with all of that speedy dry and everything else on the track.
And we understand they're giving a consultation flag to the car number 27. That's Ward Burton. We are being told by spotters that Burton in the car number 27 is being given a consultation flag. He's in 14th spot right now, and right behind him is Dale Earnhardt in 15th. Earnhardt goes by him and takes the 14th spot away. They're showing 198 laps are complete.
And here's a battle for second place as Jeff Gordon is all over Bobby Labonte.
Bobby Labonte, 27 years of age, younger brother of Terry Labonte, former Winston Cup champion, and Jeff Gordon, of course, the defending USAC midget champion at just 20 years of age. Phenomenal young talent right here on this picture as Labonte and Gordon go at it, battling for second spot.
That's Tracy Leslie in car number 72 right behind them, with he is laps down.
50 laps to go, 200 complete. Battles all over this racetrack. 6th, 7th, and 8th coming back here at you. Davey Allison in the car number 28. 63 is Chuck Bound.
Tommy Houston right up in front of him. He is being shown in the 5th position with Davey Allison in 6th. And in 7th,
Chuck Bound.
Chuck Bound, yes.
8th will be Robert Presley, and 9th will be Michael Waltrip. So 5th through 9th all right together. And once again, we'll take you back up front for that battle for second spot. You wonder why they get 50,000 people to come out and watch a great Busch Series race. Well, you see why. Now, action everywhere here. 9 caution flags, battles up front, battles in the back of the pack. And right now, 2 young men who will be future superstars in racing are battling. And this young man who would like to be a superstar and probably will be someday, having his tough luck today. He ran awfully hard all day long. Tracy Leslie brings the car number 72 down pit road. Looks like he will call it an evening.
Yeah, I believe he must have blown an engine, Jerry. He's coming awfully slow, and I think we saw some smoke out his exhaust a little bit ago. Too bad for Tracy Leslie. He put up a gallant effort here tonight. So is Jeff Gordon putting up a gallant effort in Ford number 1. You can see how far Dale Jarrett is out in front of them as they battle for that second position.
Dale Jarrett trying to pick up win number 3 in the 1991 season. As the fans are enjoying, hope you are. Stay with us.
Reigning world champion Ayrton Senna is still in the driver's seat, but Nigel Mansell is within striking distance of taking over the lead. They meet again at the Grand Prix of Belgium, Sunday morning, live on ESPN.
34-year-old Dale Jarrett showing the way.
That trouble down in turn 2, Jerry. We got a car spinning out.
That's Dave Resendez in the car number 79. He has come into hard contact with the wall, just gets down in front of Dale Earnhardt, and he will keep the car rolling, trying not to lose any more time than necessary on the racetrack as the caution flag is showing for the 10th time here at Bristol International Raceway.
Dave was coming back up through the pack. He had made a pit stop during the last caution and put on some fresh tires and was coming back up through the pack pretty good, but something went awry down there in turn 2.
Let's see if we can see again what might have happened to Dave Resendez down there in turns 1 and 2. The car now sliding sideways, comes up the track and does tag the concrete wall.
Not too hard, though. Might not have done too much damage to it.
Watch Earnhardt come by here, just getting by as Resendez's car spins around, and he gets the car right and headed back in the right direction. Now, he has had an interesting evening. He was a lap down, made the lap up, was a leader, now has had trouble, and brings out another caution flag. Caution flag being shown for the 10th time a day. No, it's not a record. We had 20 cautions earlier in the year for 103 laps, so we're gaining on it. More after this. Back at Bristol International Raceway. Pleased to have you with us here for nice NASCAR Busch Grand National Series racing action. Stop number 24, the 31 race tour. Winding down, there'll be 7 events remaining after tonight, and this points battle could certainly be altered considerably tonight with some of the troubles up front. Pontiac safety car moving away. Dale Jarrett, who's not in the points battle, but would like to be in the lead and win this race, pulls away, and Bobby Labonte, who is in the points battle, he's in hot pursuit.
Jarrett got a good jump on Tracy Leslie, who goes high into turn 1 and loses a lot of position, but he also got a pretty decent jump on Bobby Labonte.
And more trouble up in turn 2, and that's Dave Resendez's spot where he spun just a moment ago. We have not
no yellow, but he's in right in front of the leaders. Wow.
And he gets hit solidly by the car number 92 of Dick Trickle. Resendez trying to get the car righted, and the car was spinning around, and Ned, he just couldn't get the car to go.
No, he couldn't. He couldn't get it to go. There was something wrong with the car, Jerry. I don't know what, if he has a flat or what it was, but the car just simply would not pull, and it wanted to turn. Every time he got on the accelerator, it would turn sideways with him. He was wanting to get off of that bank, but couldn't. He knew the leaders were coming around, and fortunately, the spotters, for most of them, got it out of the way, but Dick Trickle got caught in it, and he's moving around inside of his car, the Custom Veneers Oldsmobile of Dick Trickle. We can see him moving around in the car, but you can see the damage to the front end of his Oldsmobile as Dave Resendez still can't get his car to go forward.
Heavy contact there, 49-year-old Dick Trickle. And we'll see once again. Now, this happened just at the restart. As you see, the leaders were over in turn 3. Resendez's car coming off the track. There is no caution flag yet, and he's trying to get the car refired and righted, Ned.
Yes, he is. And you can see he spins it around, thinks he can go, and he does get up there. But look at the back end then come around the other way. I don't know if he only has one wheel pulling on that car or what made it spin around the other way. And you can see the leaders come by. Dick Trickle moved to the inside and hit Resendez right in the door on the left side.
Watch the impact here. Resendez's car coming around again, the driver's door facing traffic, and watch Trickle come hard impact. Ooh, right in the driver's door, lifting the car number 79 off the ground, and it spins backwards. Both cars heavily damaged. Trickle still in and around his car. Safety crews are on the scene. A scary incident here on lap 213 as we are showing the 11th caution flag today.
And there's Dave Resendez walking towards the ambulance, and Dick Trickle walked away from his car as well, so that's good news as far as the drivers are concerned. Their cars didn't fare quite as well.
Certainly a tough break for Dave Resendez. He had led tonight, as had Dick Trickle. Both those cars had been leaders at one point in this evening's race, and now both will go to the infield care center and be checked out, and their cars will have to be repaired considerably over the next few days.
Of course, the next race for these cars is Darlington, South Carolina, the Gatorade 200. Coming up next Saturday.
We'll have that coverage on ESPN, the Gatorade 200, our ESPN Busch Grand National Series coverage. They're hooking up to some of the damaged cars over there. Let's check in the pits with Benny Parsons. Benny?
Hey, Jerry, you know, just a moment ago, we were talking about that 32 car and how well he was running. Ned, I hate to say this, but if that one car gets by the 44 car, your boy's got trouble.
Yeah, I think you're right, because the one car of Jeff Gordon is running very, very strong. And he just might give Jerry all he can handle.
And I spoke to Jeff Gordon earlier. Remember, you know, he came from the USAC ranks, the midget and sprint car racing. A lot of what you see on our Saturday Night Thunder shows on ESPN. And this young man said this track reminds him a lot of Winchester or Salem, Indiana, the high banks and speed. And he felt very comfortable on this racetrack, even though he has a limited amount of experience in the stock cars. He is certainly doing an excellent job tonight.
He is doing a great job. I've been impressed with him since the drop of the green flag. He has been up there fighting, battling, and battling with some of the best in the business, too. We saw him with Dale Earnhardt there for a long time, and Harry Gant, and several others that he's battled back and forth 4 positions and held his own.
There's Dave Resendez walking in, and you see Dick Trickle. He will stroll in the infield care center. Excellent facilities here. You see they have a complete medical unit there, staffed with trauma surgeons and nurses on hand here at Bristol International Raceway. So good to see that they're okay. There's the young man we're talking about. It could be quite a shootout if he can get up and race Dale Jarrett. We'll see it all when we come back with more after this. Back at Bristol International Raceway, the waning laps of the J. Johnson 250, our 11th caution flag of the evening. For this heavy impact off of turn 2. Dave Resendez's car spinning around, and watch the impact here. The Oldsmobile of Dick Trickle comes right along and ouch, right in the door. Both those drivers taking the infield care center, and Benny Parsons is standing by with Dave Resendez.
First of all, Dave, you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I was just in there with Dick. It seems that Dick's okay too, so that's good news.
Why wouldn't the car go? We saw you trying to get the car going. It was just spinning the tire.
No, I thought I could turn around, go up the track, get enough traction to get going, but you know, these banks are so high here at Bristol, it just wouldn't let me go. You know, we got together with Tracy Leslie a little bit earlier, and that flat spotted my tires, and they wouldn't help me out on the tire situation, so we had to go with some tires that weren't so track worthy, but the KR Resendez Oldsmobile was working real well tonight. We were just gonna bide our time and run up to the front, but we just didn't make it. So we're going to try again next week.
Jerry, thank goodness he's okay.
And he's able to smile after all the trials and tribulations he's had here tonight. An unbelievable run, an unbelievable ending for Dave Resendez. That young man will make a great race driver. 220 laps complete. You're talking about up front. It could be quite a shootout. Pontiac, Oldsmobile in 4 in the first 3 cars. Then a Buick in 4th spot. Back to green flag racing as Dale Jarrett will carry him down into turn 1.
Well, they had no lap cars on the outside of that time, Jerry, to contend with. Jerry just about a 2 or 3 car length lead on Bobby Labonte, that is, the younger brother of former Western Cup champion Terry Labonte. And we see the car number 1 of Jeff Gordon continues to work on Bobby Labonte for that 2nd position.
And they're battling back in the pack. There's the battle for 2nd spot. The car number 1 trying to make a move inside of Bobby Labonte, and he just gets a fender up there.
And Tommy Houston falling back in the pack a little bit as well, as Davey Allison had just gone by him a moment ago.
Tommy Houston was being shown as the 4th place car. Meanwhile, back up in 2nd spot. We'll try again as Jeff Gordon tries to get a fender beneath the Oldsmobile. The Penrose sausages car and can't quite do it. Racing all around this racetrack here. That's the battle for 2nd spot. Dale Jarrett is about 4 car lengths up in the lead. You see Jarrett's car go by, but here's the battle we're watching right now. Very young drivers.
Tommy Houston was in 4th place. He is in the pits with a flat tire on the Rosie Storage Buick as we watch this battle for 2nd place. Tough break for Tommy Houston.
Let's see what happened to Tommy Houston just a minute ago in the restart. You see Davey Allison, who was in 5th. He goes by Houston. The car begins to slip and slide, and he gets tagged from behind.
Yep. And I think he has that tire going down, Jerry, and that was the reason that he was up there and slowing down. Let's go to the pits, and Benny Parsons, who's with the other fellows involved in that accident, Dick Trickle.
Exactly, Ned. We talked to the hit E, Dave Resendez. Now we have the hitter, Dick Trickle. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm going to have a little stiff neck. My spotter told me to cut low, and the car was sitting there and let off his brake and come down the track. But I'm going to be fine. We had all my fans. We had a good car, good chance to win, but well.
Okay, thank you, sir.
49 years of age, Dick Trickle. He will walk away, none the worse for wear, thankfully, after that violent impact up in turn 2.
And Michael Waltrip in the pits, an unscheduled pit stop. He had a flat tire as well. And there's trouble down in turn 2. It looks like Tommy Houston.
Tommy Houston brings his Rosen Storage Buick back down pit road. Remember, he just made an entry on the pit road a moment ago for a flat tire. He gets the car righted. Caution being shown again to the field. The 12th caution flag of the evening as we approach the 230 lap mark. It'll just be about 20 laps to go. And there's Tommy Houston. He's finished 2nd twice this year and yet to go to victory lane. 45-year-old veteran from Hickory, North Carolina. His son Scott is the crew chief on the car. And Tommy very hopeful he would have a good finish tonight. The car running awfully well early in the day. Let's see what happened again to Houston down in turn 1.
Well, there's so much smoke there, it's hard to see. He's sideways, Jerry, and backed it up into the outside wall. Just makes some contact there, not real heavy contact, but there was some damage to the left rear of the Rosen Store Buick, and he's back in the pits.
Here's Houston. That's his son Scott, and the rest of the Roses crew will go to work on that car. They will change right side tires. That's Scott there talking to his dad on the radio, and they have the jack beneath the car. Tough break for Tommy Houston.
Yeah, he was running in 4th place before he started having his problems. Was sitting there in good position.
Michael Waltrip, who just had a flat tire a moment ago, has also had a good run going and had climbed his way back up in the top 7 or 8 and brings the Pennzoil Pontiac back down pit road. They're getting ready to go green. Michael's going to have to hurry because they're going green here out of turn 4.
I think Michael Waltrip lost his lap on that when he came in under the green flag, but he's going to have to hustle, keep going another lap down.
And he will not be able to do it as Dale Jarrett leads the field by in turn 3. Here's Michael Waltrip exiting the pits at only 30 miles an hour at the NASCAR rule, so he will get another lap down here in 2 seconds. Michael just about lost it. He got it from that speed he tried in, and he had a handful of steering wheel.
Yes, he did. He accelerated, and it broke loose on him, and he was about to lose it. And there you see the first 6 cars running nose to tail almost. Dale Jarrett with about a 2-car length lead now. He's not moving away quite as much as he did before, Jerry.
He's probably getting tired of pulling away by 5 or 6 car lengths only to have the caution come back. I'll sit here and ride a while. I don't think that's the case, actually. I think Bobby Labonte and Jeff Gordon are really staying with him. And Davey Allison, remember, starting way back in 25th spot, is now being shown in the 4th position.
Yeah, Chuck Bound has moved his way back up to 5, and he's been in some scrapes here tonight. Has led quite a bit of this race. He started on the pole in Nestle Pontiac and now working on Davey Allison. And that's Jimmy Hensley in car number 25 right behind him there as well.
Yeah, we talked about at the top of the show now as Chuck Bound tries to move to the inside of Davey Allison. The word here is survival. You've got to survive to be able to even to get a good finish, to have a shot at winning. And everyone's just trying to hang on. You see some of these cars that are battered and beaten. Chuck Bound now trying to move in on Davey Allison. His fenders are flapping. That was the pole sitter. He's picking up the 5th pole of the year. He's now trying to move out of his 5th spot and take 4th away from Davey.
Michael Waltrip went back into pits again, so Michael having a lot of problems here now. Dale Jarrett, who just turned a lap, was 16.8. He qualified at 16.75. And there's Michael Waltrip in the pits as you see the leaders go by. And Jeff Gordon still working on Bobby Labonte. 2 of the superstars of the future in auto racing really going at it here tonight. They're battling for 2nd place. The Penrose Sausage Oldsmobile of Bobby Labonte, currently 2nd in the Busch Grand National point standings. And the Carolina Ford dealers, car number 1 of Jeff Gordon.
Gordon's currently 11th in the standings. He's a leading rookie in the point standings, although he is trailing David Green in the Rookie of the Year standings thus far. And he tries to look to the inside, thinks better of it, falls back in line.
Well, he's run out of laps, Jerry. He's going to have to, if he has a shot at Dale Jarrett, he's going to have to get around Bobby Labonte here before too long. There's 10 laps to go this time, and Jarrett goes by.
2 full hands of laps as they came by, just 10 to go. And Jarrett now comfortably out to about a 7-car length advantage. And we'll see if Gordon can make a move. Almost had a shot out of turn 2. We'll see if he can do it out of turn 3. Up, a little bit of tap there on the rear of Bobby Labonte. Stays back in line.
Jimmy Hensley has now taken over the 5th position from Chuck Bound.
Hensley started way back in 19th spot. Good run for him. He was one of the drivers that had been on Busch cars, switched over to Goodyear. You heard Vinnie Parsons tell us earlier. Irrespective of whether Jeff Gordon can make it around Bobby Labonte or have a shot at winning, that young man has really done a whale of a job tonight on a very tough racetrack.
Yes, he has. He's driven a great race. They're coming up on traffic now. Dale Jarrett coming up on some traffic. They move out of the way and let him by as they continue that battle for 2nd. Bobby Labonte almost got into that car.
At least 6 laps to go this time by. Once again, there's the leader, Dale Jarrett, the Nestle Crunch Pontiac. 2nd place cars coming across the stripe there. There's Jarrett down in turns 1 and 2. Trying to hold on, hoping he's not as snake-bitten as some of the other people who have led this field tonight. That battle's still there. About a car length separating Labonte and Jeff Gordon.
4th place is Davey Allison.
Jeff Gordon has finished 2nd 3 times this year. This would not be his best finish of the year, but certainly he has placed himself in impressive ranks being able to run this well on a tough track like Bristol.
He just has not had any opening. Bobby Labonte has protected that groove and has just not given Jeff Gordon any place to pass him. And as a result, I think Jeff Gordon is faster, but he just can't get by Bobby Labonte, and as a result, he's not been able to move up and challenge Dale Jarrett.
Here's a battle for 6 and 7, Chuck Bound and Kenny Wallace. These are the point guys, remember. Kenny Wallace currently our point leader. Chuck Bound is 5th in the point standings, and his battered car, number 53, is trying to hang on to that 6th and 7th spot. Meanwhile, back up to 2nd and 3rd spot. 2 laps to go. There's the interval. There's Jarrett going by. Here's Bobby Labonte. White flag being shown to Dale Jarrett. The final lap, and Jarrett, 2 car lengths. Let's see if they can make a move out of turn 2. Here is Jeff Gordon. Down the back straightaway, a half a car length separating. Gordon now will drive the car to the inside in turns 3 and 4. A little bit of a tap. And no, he will not be able to do it. Jarrett takes the win. Bobby Labonte is 2nd. And Jeff Gordon brings the 4th Thunderbird home in 3rd spot. And John Irvin and the Nestle Crunch crew They're all celebrating, and rightfully so. The young man has done a tremendous job starting in 11th spot. The 34-year-old driver picking up his 3rd win of the year, and a little bit reminiscent of what we saw last Sunday as Davey Allison rides up there and waves. Remember, he's the guy that he raced last Sunday. Let's take a look again at 63 here. Chuck Bound and Kenny Wallace, they are racing to the stripe for a 6th spot. Remember, the point's so critical here, Ned.
Yes, and Kenny Wallace moves on the inside, and there comes Robert Presley as well on the inside and takes a couple of positions away from Chuck Bound.
So that will mean Kenny Wallace will finish 6th, Presley 7th, and Chuck Bound back in 8th spot. That'll cost him some valuable points. And the winning crew headed to victory lane here, and a happy crew chief standing by with our Benny Parsons.
John, you missed the victory last week in Michigan, right?
Yes, I did, Benny. You know, I was talking to some people today. I've been with the Jarrett family a long time, and I've been with the Jarretts every victory they've had except last Sunday when Dale won at Michigan. And I guess it goes back to I'm just part of the old family, and I hate I missed it. They had a party on Sunday night, and I missed that too. But I tell you what, Benny, I cried many tears Sunday, and I'm not ashamed to admit it.
How about
won that thing?
Tonight wasn't bad.
No, it wasn't bad. I got a couple of ulcers, I think. Alternator went out on about 50 laps in the race, and I didn't know whether it would last the whole race or not, but it did. Dale did a fantastic job. The crew did an excellent job on our 4-tire change, and the Nessus Crunch Pontiac is right back in style again.
You know, John, if you keep on talking, you're going to miss this victory celebration.
Well, man, you know, one of these days I'm going to get a little old for this, and I'm going to try to take your Ned job.
Now, come on, man. Hey, take it back, guys. I need this job.
All right, man.
I tell you, John Irvin is a classic. He said he was in tears last week watching, and when Dale Jarrett thanked him in victory lane at Michigan, it certainly meant a lot to him and his wife. You know, certainly for all the years they've been with you, Ned.
Well, it certainly did. And he mentioned being a part of the Jarrett family. I tell you, he feels like family to us, and we're happy to have him as part of it.
There's Horace Eisenhower and all the Nestle's Crunch crew down there getting ready to take that car to victory lane. Dale Jarrett picks up win number 3 here. We'll have him in victory lane in a moment. For the 13th consecutive year, ESPN is pleased to provide the most extensive motorsports coverage in the world. Hope you enjoyed tonight's Speed World coverage of Busch Grand National Racing NASCAR style Under the Lights. Our Speed World coverage brought to you by Quaker State. The Big Q is One Tough Motor Oil. And by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? This record crowd filing out as we file down to victory lane, where Benny Parsons is standing by with a smiling Dale Jarrett.
Dale, are you going to try to make this a habit or what?
Yeah, I'd love to. I can get used to this. I told everybody all week long that all the phone calls and TV shows and radio shows, that's a lot of fun. I could get used to this. So these guys did a great job with this Nessus Crunch Pontiac, and say thanks to Citgo for their associate sponsorship on it. And they had a great pit stop, and the car drove the same all night long. It made my job really easy.
Well, there's 2 special people here. First of all, we want to say hello to Kelly. You missed the race last Sunday, right?
Yeah, I was really disappointed, but I think it's really nice for him to win one tonight so I can be here and enjoy it.
And we got another special person, Ned Talk.
Well, Dale, see, Dale has a headset on down there. A little unusual that we'd be able to talk from the booth to the winner of the race. The car did work well for you, and had to look back in the rearview mirror, wonder about that one car, if he ever got around Bobby Labonte, what he might have been able to do.
Yeah, I was wondering I was hoping they were going to race hard back there and let me get a little bit of a lead, but those guys did a good job back there. Bobby Labonte and Jeff Gordon, that's 2 names that everybody out there can remember because they'll be in Winston Cup racing before too long, and I was just glad that we could keep a good enough lead. I was hating to see all those cautions. I didn't really want to see that, but the car worked so good that I really didn't have to worry about it too much. And there's one other special person here somewhere, his son Jason. He wasn't at the race last week either, so he's up here too. So it's been a great week here.
What's the chance of floating alone?
He say the chance of getting another one tomorrow night?
No, I said floating alone.
I'm floating alone. No, I'm not. I'm just doing this for the fun. It's not for the money.
Yeah, right. Ned, you raised this boy right. Here's Jason. Hey, buddy. He won one tonight for you and Kelly.
Fine, yeah.
Not bad, huh?
Last week was good too.
Last week was. Were you was not in Michigan, was you?
No.
But you watched.
Yeah, well, no, I was working. So I was listening on the radio.
Man, what are you going to be now? He had a chance to be a golfer, and he chose to be a racer. What are you going to be?
Racer.
He better start talking to his grandfather. That's a loan.
Hey, Ned, the boy needs a loan down here, Ned.
Uh-oh. Well, Jason is 15 years old. He'll be 16 in October. Of course, looking as most teenagers do to be getting their driver's license one day.
And you thought you were finished financing racing teams. Well, Dale Jarrett takes the car to victory lane for win number 3. He started back in 11th spot, which is exactly where he started last week at Michigan. Jarrett in victory lane. More from Bristol after this.
Reigning world champion Ayrton Senna is still in the driver's seat, but Nigel Mansell is within striking distance of taking over the lead. They meet again at the Grand Prix of Belgium, Sunday morning, live on ESPN.
Back at Bristol International Raceway, the NASCAR J. Johnson 250 is history. Dale Jarrett has gone to victory lane. You've heard from him. And how about the two men who gave us a whale of a show battling for second spot? Bobby Labonte and Jeff Gordon. They're standing by with Penny Parsons.
Now, I went to victory lane. Which one of you guys ended up finishing second?
I did. Well, no, I did. I did. You did? It was so close. Who knows? I don't know.
I think I did. I'm going to check with the guy that writes the checks. I think he's going to write me a bigger check than him.
That's usually the indication who finishes second. But you guys raced for so hard for so long. Was there any bumping going on?
Bumping? Man, we hit each other so hard. No, we didn't. There was so light a bump you could hardly feel it. But I knew he was there, and he knew that I was trying to protect that line because it was awful important.
Jeff, this racetrack, does this resemble Winchester, the track you run on the midgets, something like Winchester?
Well, the driving style is a lot alike. You know, you get in the corner, you really get on the gas, and you really got to turn the steering wheel. It's a real demanding racetrack, and the speeds are up. Cars are flying out there, and I tell you, this is one of my, favorite racetracks that we've been to so far, and I really enjoy it, and I can't wait to come back. But I was rubbing, Bobby. Rubbin's racing.
Who said Rubbin's racing? Whose quote is that?
I don't know. It's probably somebody.
I think I heard that in Days of Thunder, maybe.
Yeah, maybe so.
Days of Thunder. We're back to that again. Well, guys, I'm telling you, it was super. Good run, great run for both of you.
Well, yeah, this Penrose Oldsmobile run good all night. Carl Wagner had us a great engineer. It's just good that we finished second because Dale was a little bit better than we were tonight, and I was fortunate enough to finish second because this cat was coming on strong.
He was coming on. Jeff, great run for you.
I just owe a lot to Bill Davis' crew. They gave me a heck of a car. We qualified second. The car was just perfect all day long, the whole race, and I just couldn't ask for a better car, and I'd just like to thank Carolina Ford dealers for being on with us because without them, we couldn't do it.
I'm going to see if I can get a 5-star between these two guys. Now, look, he was in front. He hit you.
Well, while they argue down there and settle who finished where and who gets the bigger check, let's take a look at the full field rundown. You saw the top three already. Davey Allison finishing in 4th spot. Jimmy Hensley coming from back in the field to finish in 5th. 6 through 10, Kenny Wallace. There's our point leader. He comes back and finishes 6th. Robert Presley, Jeff Burton, Chuck Bound, and Butch Miller rounding out the top 10. Ned, you talk about Days of Thunder. You see Dale Earnhardt finishing 11th spot, and looking at the rest of the rundown, there were Nights of Thunder tonight. A lot of framming and bamming.
We expected a lot of that, Jerry, when we went into this race. I'm not sure we expected quite as much as we got here tonight, but certainly this huge crowd that was on hand got their money's worth tonight. As we can see, as some of those drivers that didn't finish the race, of course, they got a finishing position back in the field. Harry Gant having the brake problems there early, and Morgan Shepherd getting involved in the crash along with Jimmy Spencer.
32nd was Jeff Purvis. Taking a look at the point standings here. Now, they will shuffle a little bit here. Kenny Wallace will still be the point leader, but only by 72 points over Bobby Labonte. Jimmy Hensley's in 3rd. Chuck Bound moves to 4th spot by virtue of his 9th place finish, and Joe Nemechek back in 5th because of finishing in 16th position. Dale Jarrett led 44 of the 250 laps and hopes he can win this one later tonight at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. The NASCAR Budweiser 500 live flag-to-flag coverage from right here in Bristol, Tennessee. Bob Jenkins, Ned Jarrett, and all of us on our Speed World coverage here for live flag-to-flag coverage. Dale Jarrett has taken the Nestle's Crunch Pontiac to victory lane for the 3rd time in 1991. And yes, John Irvin and all the crew, there's Rambo, the Jackman, as they celebrate here at Thunder Valley at Bristol International Raceway. For Benny Parsons in the pits,